Hi friends, it's Laura the Teach. Have you ever read a graph before? Now graphs come in many different forms, and so today we're going to just talk about two simple picture graphs. Now excuse my paper, it looks like a squirrel got a hold of it and chewed off the corner. Maybe it was my cat Rosie, she likes to chew on things. But these two graphs show pictures. A graph will always have an identification, okay, of what it's asking or telling. In this case, it's number of pets. And then down here, it talks about pets. And so as you can see, we have different pets on this graph. We have cats, birds, fish, we have dogs, and then we have rabbits. To me, that rabbit looks kind of like a dog, but I didn't draw the picture. So, first of all, when you're looking at a graph, even if it doesn't give you a space like this to write the number, I always like to count how many are in the rows or the columns, depending on which way the graph is going, so that I can know what the number is without having to count it all the time. It just so happens that this wants us to count it before we look at the graph. So when you're looking at a graph like this, it says the number of pets is what it's telling us, okay? Or it's asking us how many pets of each kind are there. And then at the bottom it says the pets, and then it names the pets. We want to count them. Now remember, rows go across, columns go up and down. This type of graph has the same pet in each column, up and down. So we're going to count from the bottom up when we're counting the pet. So the first one is a cat. So we're going to start here, and each box counts as 1. So how many cats do we count? 1, 2, 3, 4. So where it has the picture of the cats, we write the number 4. Now the next one are birds. How many birds do you see? 1, 2. So we're going to write 2. All right, the next one is fish. How many fish do you count? Count them. Very good. 3. Now we have horses. How many horses do you see? You're right, 1. Now we have dogs. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3. Good. And then we're going to count the rabbits. How many rabbits do we count? 1, 2, 3. Good. 6. All right, so with a graph like this, we can answer a lot of questions that someone might ask you. For instance, which pet did they have the most of? Now, when you look at a graph, usually visually you can see that you go to the very top. Are there any others up here? No, just the rabbits. So we can see just by looking at this graph that there are more rabbits than any other animal. What's the number that shows the least amount of animals? You're right, the number 1, and that would be our horse. There's only 1 horse. All the others have pictures that go above the horse box. So the least number of animals are the horses. The most are the rabbits. All right, are there any that have the same amount? Look carefully. So these are the same. These, no. These, oh, look at that. But this has 1 more. So the fish and the dogs have the same amount. They both have the number 3. And we can see that here when we wrote that down. So there's a lot of questions that can be asked about the graph. This just says draw the pet that matches the number. Well, I'm not going to try to draw. Which number do we have 2 of? Good. The bird. So we'll put a B for bird. What did we have 1 of? The horse. So we'll put H for horse. Good. Now we're going to look at some shapes down here. All right. We've got our triangle, our square, our oval, a rectangle, a star here, and then they have a spot for a circle. But I don't see any circles in that, do you? So let's take a look and see. They want us to decide again, all right, these are your shapes, and we just named them, and it says the number of shapes. How many shapes do we have? So let's count the triangles. Remember, you have to count going up the column. How many do you count? Excellent. There are 3 triangles. How many squares do you see? Good job. Did you see it? 1 square. All right. How many circles can you see? They're actually not circles, ovals. 1. Good. 6 ovals. And look at, they have them all mixed up here. We have to find the shape. Now we have a rectangle. How many rectangles do you see? 1. How many circles do you see? Circles would go in this column right there. Do you see any circles? No. So we write the number 0. And then how many stars do we have? 1, 4. Okay, so now at the bottom it asks us which shape matches the number that we see. What did we have 4 of? Good, we had 4 stars. So I'm just going to do a little star like that. All right, what do we have nothing of? 0. Good, we had 0 circles. And what did we have 3 of? Very good, 3 triangles. So this is what we call a basic picture graph. And when you are doing graphing, it's always going to tell you or ask you something and then give you the data or the information on the bottom. And there's a lot of questions that can be asked about the graphs. So you did really well doing your first graph.